It's common for speakers to find a quote to start their remarks during ceremonies such as this, but as I realized as I considered a quote, there's no quote that I could find or think of that really describes graduates of the class of 2020. I was thinking, you have experienced more in these last 4 months than other people, other friends, colleagues, even adults have experienced in decades of their lives. You've overcome such adversity, and you have made it to graduation. So to me, not a quote, but a word describes you. I think of your resilience. You have been resilient. You have been able to overcome. And I think that over the course of your lifetime, when you face new challenges, I'd suggest that you reach back to this time in your life to remember what it was like to overcome, your resilience, and use that strength that you have built to overcome some of the challenges you might face in your life. But I really ask that you think about your entire 4 years, not just these months. Think about your experiences in high school. Remember the fun. Remember your friends, your teachers, your coaches, your advisors, all those that have contributed to your high school experience and your whole educational experience. I know that you will do well. I know that you will be strong, and I know you will contribute to this community, our state, and our world in so many different ways. We are so very proud of you. Members of the class of 2020, I wish you nothing but the best of health and happiness and future success. I can see great things in our future for you. And my role in today's ceremony is an official one, and it's quite simple. As superintendent of schools, and on behalf of the Board of Education, I can declare that all graduates have met or exceeded their requirements for a New Jersey high school diploma. Congratulations and best of luck always. You always have a home here.
Superintendent Keenan, Principal Reyna, members of the Greater Egg Harbor Regional Board of Education, Oakcrest High School administration, faculty, staff, and most importantly the students, on behalf of not only the class of 2020, but the entire Falcon community, please allow me to take a moment to reflect on today's ceremony. We reflect on the tremendous grief our country, community, and school have experienced over the past year. We mourn the extraordinary loss of over 100,000 Americans due to the COVID-19 virus. We extend our deepest sympathies to anyone in our community who has lost a loved one during this time of social distancing. Our hearts and thoughts are also with anyone who finds themselves isolated or alone during this time. Know we stand with you. As well, the Oakcrest High School student body also stands with anyone fighting for an improved way of life. We mourn the loss of George Floyd and countless others who have died at the hands of oppression, racism, and injustice. As we struggle for normalcy, let us take a moment to pray for unity and understanding amidst the chaos, and may we, the class of 2020, find wisdom and courage as we face our futures. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, faculty, staff, family, and friends of the graduating class of 2020. Under ordinary circumstances, this class should be recognized and congratulated for their achievements. But this year, especially considering the circumstances, our class should be applauded. An ordinary recognition simply doesn't do us justice because, from an unforeseen virus to murder hornets and forest fires, our community struggles to move forward through unprecedented events, and our class was forced to come together and face an unknown world. By all means, the movie scripts and history textbooks on 2020 will have long chapters, so much so that it might even be exciting enough to keep students awake in Weisbach's history class. As we all move on to our new chapter in life, we are going to be met with much greater responsibilities than we could have ever imagined. Ours is a world in crisis, one with a permanently changed future, and we will be the first generation to meet those changes head-on as we become adults. As a country, we have to understand these circumstances. The impact of George Floyd's death, for example, is monumental, and while I'm not in a position to address what citizens should and shouldn't do in response to the situation, it is clear that something needs to be done. Some of us will choose to take action through peaceful protest. Others may take action by reposting and commenting on social media. But no matter how we choose to raise our voices, the truth is that each of our voices matters. Each is powerful and valuable. On the bright side, with conflict comes opportunity. Our class has the power to create change and imbue good values into our nation. As adversity and the perils of injustice mount, so does our opportunity to create meaningful change. The kind of change capable of preventing future tragedies. The class of 2020 can create a movement capable of changing not only what is happening right now, but in future lifetimes. This has to be our responsibility because there is no right answer. There is no set path for us to follow. If we want change, we have to make it ourselves. Of course, there will be others to help on the way. Through the connections that we've made here at OHS and the ones that we continue to make beyond these walls, we will forge our own paths. Paths that will help brighten the future. Paths that will stand to shape not only our individual identities, but the identity of our entire country. Paths that will lead us above and beyond this most stressful year. With that being said, Oakcrest Class of 2020, I will always cherish our memories. This school will always have a place in my heart for shaping my character, for helping me build lifetime relationships. I wish everyone the best of luck in your future endeavors, and may you all enjoy the summer under these difficult circumstances. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to stand before you today, reminiscing and reflecting on our great time here at the Oak. Correction, I'm standing before this camera and you all are watching my recorded speech, so hopefully it goes well. I guess the only benefit of recording this speech is that I won't hear the awkward silence if I tell a bad joke. So just letting all you folks at home know, I'm going to assume you're laughing at my jokes. Please laugh. On behalf of the class of 2020, I would like to sincerely thank the administration, teachers, and staff, such as counselors, secretaries, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodians, for your dedication and hard work that have made this school so special. Your efforts will never be forgotten. I would like to thank the Oakcrest High School community for continuing to support the seniors during this time. Friends, families, and especially faculty are making extraordinary efforts to recognize us and make this year memorable. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. I would also like to thank the members involved in the adopted Oakcrest High Senior Program. Your efforts are greatly appreciated by every Senior Falcon. I hope you are all doing well during these unprecedented times, as this pandemic has affected us all. We seniors have lost a great deal, and I know it hurts. Milestones and events we've been eagerly awaiting since we stepped foot into Oakcrest were taken away. Losing the defining moments of what many have told us would be the best year of our lives is painful, but the class of 2020 is a resilient group. Dory from Finding Nemo put it best: just keep swimming. When you think about it, we've been following Dory's sage advice since the beginning of our lives. Many of us were born right after 9/11. We grew up through the Great Recession of 2008, a crisis that caused millions of people to lose their jobs, homes, and life savings. Now, when we thought we would be going to prom and having senior week, we instead were forced indoors and away from each other. A brand new threat, a global pandemic, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in over a century, forced our heads down. But still, we persevere. We keep swimming. Now, as our nation mounts a renewed fight against the social injustices occurring in our country, it is easy to see our future as one riddled with obstacles and barriers, but I'm confident that this class will overcome them. Now that we're all entering adulthood, ready to explore the world for ourselves, I think it's time for us to move on from simply living in history. It's time for us to make history. We will break down the walls that divide. We will fight for positive change. We will just keep swimming. That's what the class of 2020 does. Although we aren't able to end our year as expected, I'd still like to take a moment and invite you all to reminisce about the good times we had here at 1824 Dr. Dennis Foreman Drive. High school was the start of a tremendous journey. A 4-year adventure we embarked upon as wide-eyed and anxious adolescents, just fresh from graduating middle school. On the first day of freshman year, I remember arriving at the bus stop with a smirk on my face thinking, this is it, I'm in the big league now. I was a scrawny 5'2" pipsqueak, bouncing around through the halls like a pinball. But the one thing I clearly remember was that I left the building with a smile on my face. And I've left this building with a smile on my face every single day for the past 4 years. Oakcrest holds a special place in my heart, and I know I won't find another place like it. I'll miss Senor Forney's baritone voice filling the middle 200 hallway with Spanish melodies. I won't find another place where kids take badminton and floor hockey more seriously than actual sports practice. Gym class goes hard. And I know we will all definitely miss Pintilli scouring the halls for hall passes. Well, Miss Pintilli, this one's for you. I'm just kidding, Miss Pintilli, we love you. However, the culture of Oakcrest is what I'll miss the most. The passion and pride this whole community takes in being Oakcrest Falcons are astounding. When I talk to other people from different schools, I realize how fortunate I am to be a part of this family, a kind and genuine family that accepts everyone. As Heimdall said in the movie Thor Ragnarok, while the Asgardians were forced to flee their beloved home, Asgard is not a place, it's a people. If you haven't watched the movie, I highly recommend it. Matter of fact, you might as well just pause this video, go watch it, and come back to this speech. It's just 2 hours. You probably have time. I'll wait. But honestly, I feel the same way about our school. Oakcrest is not a place, it's a people. We've stuck together as a community throughout our years at the Nest. And having our year cut short, we came together even more. We've stuck together through these uncertain times. Oakcrest is like a second home for me, and I'm sure for many of you as well. And we will all miss this place after we venture out on our own. Now that our high school journey is over, we've completed another chapter in our book of life. The earliest pages have already been written, and through those experiences, we've grown and transformed into unique individuals. Even though this isn't the ending we expected for our recently completed chapter of high school, I want you all to focus on the blank pages left in your book. It's up to you to fill those pages and make them great. With that being said, I would like to leave you all with quite possibly the greatest quote I've ever heard. This teacher is one of the most passionate individuals I've ever met. and his saying has stuck with me from freshman year world history to this day. After distributing a test sheet and Scantron to each student, Mr. Leathers would go back to the front of the classroom, explain the directions, and answer any final questions. And then with this token enthusiasm, Mr. Leathers would say it. "Let's do it to it, gang." That statement motivated me, filled me with positivity, encouraged me to do my best, and I hope it does the same for all of you. So I guess this is it, Oakcrest Class of 2020. We did it. In quite the odd fashion, but we did it. Congratulations, my friends. Let's fill up those empty pages and make history. And in the famous words of Mr. Leathers, let's do it to it, gang.
Good afternoon and welcome to Oakcrest High School's 2020 graduation. Congratulations to all of the graduates, congratulations to all of their families and the entire community. I want to thank Chase, Vivek, and Andy for speaking today. It is never easy to speak in front of one's peers, and certainly having to do it in front of no one, to just a camera, may actually be even harder. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the Board of Education and the entire district for allowing us to go through what we have had to go through with such positive support the last 3 months. This has not been easy on anyone. It has been trying, it has been challenging, and when we think we are turning a corner, we are hit with something else. First though, I would like to congratulate 2 of the greatest educators I have worked with in my 18 years in this district. Ed Clark and Ashley Perrone, our Educator of the Year and Educational Services Professional of the Year, are truly the ideal educators. They function full of compassion, always asking for more and raising the expectations placed upon their students, empathy, and desire to commit to this building and this district. I thank both of you, I congratulate both of you, and on behalf of an entire building, the choices could not have been more perfect. For the class of 2020, a graduation is more than just a point in time. It is an opportunity. And it comes at a time in this country where opportunity is what we need people to start looking for, recognizing, and taking advantage of. The fact that I am standing here taping this speaks to what we have dealt with for the last 3+ months from COVID-19. But it is not alone that has impacted us so much this spring. As Andy said, we are a nation in crisis. But I remind all of you that crisis is in fact fertile ground. Crisis is the perfect time to realize what can be done and what must be done. So as we move through this, I say to all of you, realize, class of 2020, the opportunity that this graduation presents to you. You will be moving into the world as 18-year-old high school graduates, all with an equal voice to any and all of us adults. Reverend King shared with us, the time is always right to do the right thing. Now must be your time. How will you emerge from this? How will you use this transition, this opportunity in your life to power a recovery that extends into the community and across the nation? As an individual, in short, how are you going to make all of this better? First, realize that you are a leader, every one of you. Leadership is about assessing what is needed, looking for a way to achieve it, building a coalition, and going and doing it. Finding a way to make it better. This is not necessarily leading in the sense that people have an image of standing in front of others. It is certainly not directing. It is certainly not requesting or making orders. It is setting an example. It is accepting responsibility. And it is making sure that you are always doing the right things for the right reasons. Know that you are watched by the generation that will come after you. You are watched now. You are the cool big brother and big sister. In a few years, you'll be the cool college graduates, and the next round of high school graduates will look to you to see what you are going to do. Be armed with knowledge as you move forward that one of the greatest challenges you will face will come from this nation's ever-widening gap of those that have and those that have not. Know as you work for change, as you try to make a better, you will be faced with resistance from those on both sides. Take your background from Oakcrest High School, from this community, and all of our diversity. Take that background, take your experiences, and move forward so you can have a conversation with anyone and everyone you come in contact with and say, I know how you feel, I've heard it before, I've seen it before. Let one of your first examples of this leadership be tolerance. Tolerance is something that has gotten better generation by generation, but that cannot be enough. It can no longer crawl. It can't be 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It cannot be a decade of progress and a period then lost in time, if not retreat. This nation needs your generation to be the generation that makes progress the standard, not part of a cycle, but just what we do. We always move forward. As you move forward, know that we are proud of you, all of us, your parents, your siblings, your whole extended family, and your Oakcrest family. Know that we recognize what you have accomplished in the most trying of conditions, and know that that gives you the power to better. That gives you the power moving forward to make change. We, my generation, needs you to be the generation that makes change. Thank you, and Godspeed, Falcons.